Today on Don't Talk TV, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Public Order Emergency Commission and what people can expect to come from that. Hello, my name is Nicholas Wansbutter. I'm a lawyer in Stratford, Ontario, Canada, and welcome to Don't Talk TV. So I'm sorry I missed last week, as we mentioned on our social media. I was under the weather. I'm on the mend now. I may not sound like I'm fully better. I feel better, but oddly, I still have about 90% hearing loss in both ears as a result of the ear infections that I had. They feel like they're gone. Obviously, they're not, since I can't hear. So that's impacting my ability to speak properly. As you can see, I'm at home. I'm not in my office. That's not because I'm sick. It's because I'm filming this on Tuesday, November the 1st, which is the Feast of All Saints, which for a traditional Catholic like me is one of the major feast days. I never work this day, but I am taking advantage of the time off to make sure I get a Don't Talk TV episode done. So I just want to thank everyone for all your well wishes, let you know that I am on the mend, and going to talk a little bit about the Public Order Emergency Commission. We'll look at what can be expected out of this, what kind of results we can expect, what change we may or may not see in a best or worst case scenario, and we'll look a bit at the law as my explanation of how I come to those conclusions. So, to cut right to the chase, what is going to come of the Public Order Emergency Commission? I think a lot of people are very hopeful. They've been seeing what's going on. They think, okay, maybe this is finally going to be the thing that brings down the Trudeau government. I don't like being a wet blanket or being negative just for the sake of being negative, but I do believe in giving the unvarnished truth, not sugarcoating things. So I would just warn viewers, don't be prepared for very little to change. And I mean, we can see precedent for that of the many commissions that have happened in Canadian history. And what generally happens when there's a commission? Whole bunch of money is spent, whole bunch of witnesses are heard, a gigantic document of hundreds, if not thousands of pages of recommendations is made, presented to Parliament, it's in the news for a day or two, and then you never really hear of it again, and not much changes. I mean, even the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, yes, you hear a lot about it, but not a whole lot has changed. So I think just taking that historical precedent, and as we'll look at the law, I mean, really a commission is a pretty toothless thing. It can make recommendations. There is no obligation on the government to follow those recommendations. Might give a few sound bites, but, I mean, look, Justin Trudeau has survived how many scandals that are really worse than the Emergencies Act? I mean, we've got SNC-Lavalin. We've got him sexually assaulting a reporter years ago. Now, that lady didn't want to press charges, but as I've discussed in previous videos, that doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. It's the state that presses charges, not individuals. But he's skated away from all those. He's skated from blackface. So unless for some reason the media decides to treat this differently, it'll probably be in the news for a day or two when there's recommendations. And I don't think it's going to stop people from voting for him, really, because the media has really managed the narrative on the Freedom Convoy quite well. I mean, when I tune into CBC radio, they're still making sure they have people on the radio who are talking about how terrifying it was, how awful it was. They wish the police moved in sooner and more violently. Now, in terms of the nuts and bolts of the law, let's take a look at the Emergency Act itself, what mandate is given to this commission in the law. So I've got the Emergencies Act open here, and Section 63 of the Act talks about the inquiry that must be made, or that must be held. So Section 63 sub 1 says, the Governor and Council shall, within 60 days after the expiration or revocation of a declaration of emergency, cause an inquiry to be held into the circumstances that led to the declaration being issued and the measures taken for dealing with the emergency. And sub 2, A report of an inquiry held pursuant to this section shall be laid before each House of Parliament within 360 days after the expiration or revocation of the declaration of emergency. So you can see the Commission has no power to do anything. All they do is they give a report to the House of Commons and the Senate. And this is confirmed when we look at the Public Order Emergency Commission website. They have the Commission mandate listed on their site here, and it says the Commission will examine and assess the basis for the government's decision to declare a public order emergency, the circumstances that led to the declaration, and the appropriateness and effectiveness of the measures selected by the government to deal with the then existing situation. But again, these are just recommendations. No one has to follow them. Might be good for a few sound bites and a few snipings back and forth. Maybe Pierre Poilievre will ask a couple pointed questions, but that's really all he can do. We know that the NDP and Jagmeet Singh will continue to prop up the Liberal government, regardless of what the report says. So, I caution people to temper their expectations. Now, I still think the Commission is important. Hopefully it'll open a few eyes. It'll show what really happened. It seems that a lot of the news coming out is highly suggestive of the fact that there was no emergency, it didn't meet the test, and it shouldn't have been called. Now, this is confirming what most of us already know, but hopefully people who didn't know much about what happened, they'll actually watch some of the proceedings, read the report, and come to a similar conclusion. So this video is not legal advice. If you need legal advice, call a lawyer. You can call another lawyer or myself. My phone number and website are listed below. If there's show topics you'd like to see me cover, please send us an email to the email address listed below. And again, this email address, not my general business email address, because I get so much email to that, it'll get lost. If you want Don't Talk TV to see it, send to the address listed below, or leave a comment in the comment section. And if you found this video at all interesting, helpful, or informative, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, and following us on social media.